Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to do a next Materia Medica, a next medicines that is about fluoric acid. Okay. So about the fluoric acid, whenever you think about the fluoric acid, always compare the fluoric acid with the two remedies. One is Pulsatilla. It is very much nearer to that of the Pulsatilla, and other is Silicea. Okay, so fluoric acid, it's very much similar. Okay, जब भी आप mathematica पढ़ोगे, the sign and symptoms are very much look similar to that of the Pulsatilla. In some part it is Silicea, in some part it is a sulfur. Okay, but most that is your Pulsatilla and the Silicea. And in mental state, basically it was not too much near, but I think it will be with the Agnes Caxter. Okay. So let's start. I will go with the first physical and then I will move into the mental general. Okay. First come with the physical start, physical general. So we know that a fluoric acid, whenever you see the fluoric acid, it is one of the hottest patient. Okay. We know that the chilly patient hai, hot patient hai, the fluoric acid is a hot patient. And all his trouble, whatever his trouble, it is basically increases from the warm. So you will see the warm air aggravation. Okay, there will be the warm room aggravation, even the evening aggravation like that of an pulsatilla. Okay, so fluoric acid patient, they get suffocated in the closed room, in the warm room, like that of a pulsatilla. Okay, so suffocation in the warm room or the closed room like that of pulsatilla, or you can say that of in the lachesis also. Okay, the we know that the pulsatilla, they have desire for the open air and all their complaint is relief from the open air. So pulsatilla desire for the open air. Similarly, fluoric acid also, they have the desire of the open air. Okay, but the pulsatilla is mostly towards the psychotic nihilism, where the fluoric acid is destruction. That is your deep acting destructive remedy in the syphilitic nihilism. Okay, so that is fluoric acid. They also desire for the open air. So what you will find in the repertory, where you will find, you will see that there is a chapter generalities, open air amelioration. You will get so many remedies, and this is in the page number 1344 of the Kent repertory. Okay, because why I'm doing with the repertory also, because while studying Materia Medica, जब हम लोग BHMS में होते हैं ना, so repertory हमको समझ में नहीं आता how to find the, how to turn the symptoms into the rubric form. Okay, so if the patient tells you that मुझे खुली हवा में अच्छा लगता है, या तो कभी कभी आपको पूछना भी पड़ेगा, you have to ask them. ठीक है, आपके सब क्लोज आपको अगर सब दरवाजे बंद करके ये प्रॉब्लम में को नहीं नहीं मैं तो बंद करके बिल्कुल नहीं ले सकती, मुझे तो खुला एकदम खुला ओपन एयर चाहिए. So that is a desire for the open air, and where you will find in the genetics chapter of the Kent repertory, the rubric is open air amelioration. Okay, now there is another feature that is about your burning sensation. Burning sensation. Where is the burning sensation? Especially in the feet. You will know that the burning sensation is a feature of sulfur. It is the feature of your medorinum lachesis. Okay, similarly, burning sensation, it is also a feature of a fluoric acid. Okay, burning sensation, the heat and the hand and the feet, it burns, and because of that he want to keep his feet out of the cover. Already know that the anything covered aggravation. So because of the burning sensation and the feet, he wants to cover, he doesn't want to cover his leg. So it is similar to the medorinum sulfur lachesis. Okay, and you will find this in the extremities chapter. Extremities, burning pain. Okay, extremities, feet, burning. You can get this rubric in the extremities chapter of a Kent repertory. Similarly, they have a sweat, okay, perspiration in the feet, just like that of a Silicea. But the Silicea is very chilly patient and fluoric acid is hot patient. That is a differentiation. Okay. So perspiration is offensive. Okay. But with the offensive, it has acrid perspiration. Okay. It is so much acrid, it is so much offensive, it is so much acrid that it causes excoriation or the erosions of the toes. Okay, so it causes excoriation in between the toes. Okay, so suppose if any type of the complaint, if the patient tells you that I have like interdigital cleft, I have that excoriation in between the toes or the interdigital cleft, we can think of this remedy. Okay, so how you will get this in the Kent repertories? Go in the chapter your excoriations, sweat in between the toes. In the chapter extremities, excoriation, sweat in between the toes. So this is the rubric. Extremities, excoriation, toes in between. Extremities, perspiration, offensive. Perspiration, foot, offensive. Okay. Or extremities, perspiration, foot, excoriation. Perspiration, odor, offensive. So these are the rubric. There is another generities among the fluoric acid is they have your coffee aggravation or anything warm drink or any warm drinks causes diarrhea. Okay, so rectum, so any warm drinks, it causes diarrhea. So let me write it here. So patient will tell you मैं तो गरम गरम खाता ही नहीं हूँ, मुझे थोड़ा ठंडा ही पसंद है. So you need to ask while case taking. Okay, so the rectum, diarrhea from the warm drink. Okay, in the repertoire it is written as from the coffee. So any type of the coffee and the tea, it aggravates the complaint because they are warm in nature. Okay, in the skin symptoms, you will find this type of the crust. Okay, a crust on the skin, but the crust, even the suppose there is a scar and it was healed by the formation of the crust, but just inside the crust the healing is not done properly. Okay, so what are the symptoms? There might be some itchiness around this crust or under the crust, or there is a formation of the small vesicles. So these is the one of the feature of fluoric acid. Okay, so that is crust, skin cicatrice. It's so suppose the part is get operated or there is an injury, so it get healed with the formation of some crust or the scab. But as we know that the fluoric acid is syphilitic in nature, the healing is very slow, or the healing the wound does not wanted to heal. So we can think of this remedy. There is a formation of the crust, and beneath the crust there is some itching, and around this there is a formation of this vesicles. In the repertory you can find this in the chapter skin, and the rubric will be skin cicatrix sore. Okay, or you can also find in the chapter skin cicatrix itching, skin cicatrix vesicles around. Okay, so these are one of the symptoms of the fluoric acid. So what we see, the fluoric acid is similar to somehow with the pulsatilla in general complaint, and also some with the silica. Silica is a chilly remedy Pulsatilla is hot, but sometimes it is also chilly. And fluoric acid is one of the hottest remedy. That is, the patient is unable to bear the warmth. Okay, now we'll see it is one of the good remedy for the hair fall. Okay, so the patient will come to you with hair fall only, but when you touch the hair now, you will see there is some brittleness of the hair you will find in your hand, like a sandy things. जब भी आप उसके बालों को छुओगे तो एक ऐसा लगेगा, कुछ सैंडी फीलिंग रहेगी, ठीक है, ऐसा लगता है कि बालों की जो कणिकाएं हैं वो भी आपके हाथों में लग रही है. So Kent said that the hair get neck roast, and it is a very good remedy for the matted hair. That is, hair loses its lusters, it loses its shyness, it become neck roast. And this is a matted hair. Very good remedy for the hair fall if you get the other generalities. Okay, now if you see the nails of the like fluoric acid, it is corrugated nails similar to like that of Silicea and Timcrod and the Thuja. The nails get easily break, it becomes brittle nails, it get break easily. Okay, so where will you find in this repertory? In the find, you will find in the chapter extremities corrugated nails, all the extremities corrugated nails, or the extremities brittle fingers nail. Okay, extremities brittle fingernails. And this is one of the feature of fluoric acid, and also the Silicea and Timcrod and the Thuja. You will get other remedies also. Okay, so this fluoric acid is also one of the very good remedy for the any deep destructive ulcer. So one venous ulcer is one of the a good remedy is a fluoric acid. Only the complaint will be relieved from the cold application. So if there is any type of the skin eruptions or skin ulcer, you need to ask to the patient, गर्मी में आपको अच्छा लगता है या ठंडा एप्लीकेशन देने में अच्छा लगता है. Sometimes the patient is not able to tell you the modality, then you have to examine this in your clinic. ठीक है. Okay, so you do this if it is relief from the cold applications. We know that there are other remedies, but the deep destructive, if the ulcer is very much deep, and we know that fluoric acid is a deep seated destructive disease conditions like that of venous ulcer, fluoric acid is one of the great remedies. Okay, I told you already, like sulfur, like medurinum, they also have burning sensation on the feet. So patient in the venous ulcer, the patient will also tell you the same thing, that they have got a burning sensation on the feet. Okay, one of the peculiar symptoms of a fluoric acid is a very much peculiar, queer, and the rare symptom is about the headache, which is relieved from the micturition. Okay, so it is very peculiar symptoms. What is the rubric of this? That is head pain, urination after emulsion. Head pain, urination, emulsion. Okay, urination after emulsion. And the patient will tell you, I am not able to control my urine. If I do control this, I suffer from the headache. So the rubric will be head pain, urination before, if the call is not attended. Okay, so that is why he is not able to control the urine, not because there is a problem in this in the urethra or his muscles. It is only because if he suppose if control, then he suffer from the headache. This is a very good PQRS symptom. So this is one of the important feature of fluoric acid, that is cracks on the tongue in all direction. Remember this, if you see any feature of any patient that was suffering from any type of the trouble, and his tongue is like this, you can think of this remedy. I'm not saying that give this remedy, you can think of this remedy. Okay. So there are the other physical symptoms. For example, we know that they are the very hot patient and sensation of the heat is escaping from the pores of the skin. So this is one of the hottest patient. So that is why they have a desire for the cold bath bathing. Okay, they like cold application in their head, in their face, all over the body. They likes highly furnishes food and the pungent food. बहुत स्पाइसी चीजें खाने को उनको अच्छा लगता है, तली हुई चीजें अच्छा लगता है. देखिए, highly pungent food. Okay, highly pungent food. Early senility with the hair fall. Okay, I told you it's a very good remedy for the hair fall. If a person is suffering from the hair fall and he is very young age, we can think of this remedy, fluoric acid and the corrugated nail. Okay, that is ridged nail or the corrugated nail. Now, this is all about the physical symptoms. Now, come to the some of the mental symptoms of the fluoric acid. Okay, we know that the fluoric acid is in the halogen family. So according to the Dr. Shankaran, he's saying that now this fluoric acid from the halogen family. Okay, and this family is a theme of a betrayal and the hurt. Okay, halogen have the feeling of a betrayal and the hurt, and in the failed state it react in a repulsive manner. Okay, in the failed state, now this remedy is act like a repulsive manner. If he knows how to cope up of the situation, he avoid breaking this, he avoid his repulsive nature. Okay, so that is one of the feature of the fluoric acid is breaking in nature. He wants to break the in any type of the relationship. Okay, but in the cope stage he know how to manage them and they start avoiding breaking the relationship. Now, fluoric acid is one of the flaterius and he has many acquaintances. They do not have any serious or the deep relationship. So that is why it is in the term bio-MC. He wanted to be free. Okay, he thinks that if he is going to marry, he will be caged. Okay, that is, he is in the rubric of libertinism. Okay, उसको सब कुछ, उसको अपनी आजादी चाहिए, सिंपल है, libertinism. Okay, this is libertinism is also a feature of a lysis also. Okay, that is a desire for the opinion. Okay, now another is a biopsy. Now suppose, now if this person get married, okay, suppose a fluoric acid, now this fluoric acid patient get married. Okay, if the marriage is incompatible, he wants to come out from the marriage. So he wants to come out, he wants to break the relationship. He wants to break the relationship. So what he now, he become immoral. He become immoral and the irresponsible. So there is a rubric that is responsibility aversion to or aversion to his family. There is a rubric in the fluoric acid delusion, marriage must dissolve. Okay, aversion to his family member, aversion to his family member. Okay, now this fluoric acid patient, when they become immortal, they become irresponsible. What they do, they try to fill the gap by seeing the outside world. Okay, so relationship, there was no relationship in the house, though they started to make relationship in the outside. And I told you fluoric acid is never ever, he's very much as flirtatious, so there will be a no deep relationship. Okay. So what he will do now, now we know that the fluoric acid is one of the acid who do not suffer from the fatigue, even if it is an extreme of the weather condition, extreme of the cold, extreme of the winter. He is not suffer from any type of the fatigue. Okay, so he do exercise. He there is an increased ability to exercise without any fatigue. Now, this increase of this energy you will show also in his indicated in the sexual desire. So there will be a increased sexual desire. Now, fluoric acid person talks very openly about their sexual relationship, okay, about their sexual urge. Even in the old age also, they have increased in the sexual urge and the enjoyment. But they become indifferent towards their family, but decent and very much rooted towards the outside world and towards the stranger. Okay, now if this continued, he sometimes destroyed his nervous system by secret vices or the onanism. He continuously changes his partner, his mistresses. He never want to enter in any type of the relationship which bounds him in one position. Okay, he wants to get out from that thing. So that is why there is an one rubric according to the Pathak. This is your responsibility does not take. Okay. So there is an inability to realize the responsibility. Inability to realize responsibility. So there is an aversion to his own family member. Aversion to his own family member, but he become interested and conversant pleasantly with the strangers. Okay. There will be a lascivious mania. They are very much lustful, libertinism, but in the inside of the house they become aversion to their family. You will get now I told you, but if this situation continues, and if the patient destroyed his nervous system by secret vices, by the onanism, he in the later stage develop from the sadness and the mental depression. Okay, and then it looks like similar to that of the pulsatilla. There is a rubric in pulsatilla, answer in nodding and does not want to answer. Similarly, the fluoric also is the same thing. He sits in a corners of the room, and if you ask him anything, he will not reply. Okay, he will not reply. He sits in a corner of the room and says nothing. So this state is very much similar to that of the Pulsatilla. Okay, now whenever you are very much confused about the Pulsatilla, whether this you should give the Pulsatilla, whether you should give the patient to fluoric acid, you will think that Pulsatilla, the physical generals are okay, both of them are same, but Pulsatilla is somehow timid. He is or she is shy in nature when she is in good condition. Okay, fluoric acid, the nature of the person is a way different from that of the pulsatilla. He needs freedom, the libertinism rubric is there, buoyancy is there, they have increase of the sexual desire, okay, and they always changes their mistresses. Okay, so the theme of the fluoric acid is their incompatible relationship and they wanted to break off. Okay, so this is all about your fluoric acid. It is a very good remedy for the varicose ulcer, in the venous ulcer, any type of the ulcer, deep-seated destructive diseases such as in fistulas openings in the lacrimal fistulas, dental fistulas. Okay, so even in the hair fall also, if the hair loses its luster and when you touch the hair, then you will see the brittleness, a part of some part of the hair started to stick on your fingers. Okay, so this is known as this is called as a necrosis according to the doctor. Kent. Okay, so this is all about the fluoric acid.